Hey guys, this is Amit and you are watching Tech Dad. In this video, we are going to compare between Poco X3 Pro versus Vivo V20, and we will discuss which one is better in camera, performance, display, body of the devices, features, communication chips, and about the prices. And in the end of the video, I will tell you which one is better according to me. So watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let the comparison start with the camera of the devices. Talking about the rear camera of the devices, X3 Pro have quad camera setup, 48 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. Whereas V20 comes with triple camera setup, 64 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera and 2 megapixel of macro camera. So the winner here is V20 because it have better camera sensor, which can take great photos. And about the front camera of the devices, X3 Pro have 20 megapixel of wide camera and V20 have 44 megapixel of wide camera. So the winner here is V20 because it have 44 megapixel of wide camera, which can take low noisy photos in low light condition. Let's talk about the camera features of the devices. Both of the devices have dual LED flash, HDR and panorama, so it's a tie. And about the video recording options in the devices, X3 Pro can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 240 fps with gyro electronic image stabilization. And V20 can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 60 fps. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it can record video at high fps with gyro electronic image stabilization. Moving to the performance of the devices, let's start with the operating system of the devices. X3 Pro have Android 11 support. On the other side, V20 have Android 11 support. So it's a tie here. And about the user interface of the devices, X3 Pro have MIUI specially designed for Poco, whereas V20 have FunTouch UI. So it's a tie here because both of the devices have different user interface. So it's up to you which UI you like it or not, it's up to you. Let's talk about the processor of the devices. X3 Pro is powered by Snapdragon 860 based on 7nm processor, whereas V20 is powered by Snapdragon 720G based on 7nm processor. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it has faster processing speed. And about the GPU of the devices, X3 Pro is packed with Adreno 640, V20 is packed with Adreno 618. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it can give you more FPS in games. Let's talk about the clock speed of the devices. X3 Pro can clock at 2.96 GHz based on octa-core Creo chipset, whereas V20 can clock at 2.3 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it has faster clock speed. And about the RAM variants in the devices, X3 Pro comes with 2 RAM variants, 6 and 8 GB of RAM variants, and V20 have only 8 GB of RAM variants. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have 2 RAM variants. Let's talk about the internal storage of the devices. X3 Pro comes with 2 storage options, 128 and 256 GB, whereas V20 have 2 options, 128 and 256. So the clearly winner here is X3 Pro because it have faster read and write speed. And about the external storage of the devices, X3 Pro have external card slot but it uses shared SIM slot, whereas V20 have dedicated slot option. So the winner here is V20. Moving to the display features of the devices, let's start with the display size of the devices. X3 Pro have 6.67 inches of display, whereas V20 have 6.44 inches of display. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have bigger display size. And about the screen to body ratio of the devices, X3 Pro have approx 84.6% of ratio, whereas V20 have 83.7%. So I will call it a tie here because both of the devices have approx the same ratio. Let's talk about the screen resolution of the devices. X3 Pro comes with Full HD Plus display. In the other hand, V20 also have Full HD Plus display. So I will call it a tie here. And about the display type of the devices, X3 Pro have IPS LCD display having 120Hz of refresh rate with HDR10 support, and V20 have Super AMOLED display with HDR10 support. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have 120Hz of refresh rate, which can increase your viewing experience and watching content. Moving to the display features of the devices, let's start with the thickness of the devices. X3 Pro have 9.4 mm of thickness, whereas V20 have 7.4 mm of thickness. So the clear winner here is V20 because of slimmer body design it have. Talking about the weight of the devices, X3 Pro comes with 215 grams of weight, whereas V20 have 171 grams of weight. So the winner here is V20 because it have lower body weight. And about the protective glass of the devices, X3 Pro have Gorilla Glass 6, whereas V20 have Gorilla Glass 6. So I will call it a tie here. Let's talk about the build quality of the devices. X3 Pro have glass back with plastic frame, whereas V20 have glass back with plastic frame. So again, it's a tie. And about the SIM options in the devices, both of the devices have dual nano SIM support. So it's a tie. Moving to some of the most important features of the devices. Let's start with the fingerprint scanner of the devices. X3 Pro have side-mounted fingerprint scanner. On the other hand, V20 have under-display fingerprint scanner. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have faster scanner. And about the sensors in the devices, X3 Pro have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass, whereas V20 have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass. So again, it's a tie here. Let's talk about the battery capacity of the devices. X3 Pro have 5160 mAh of battery capacity, whereas V20 also have 4000 mAh of battery. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have larger battery capacity. Let's talk about the charging speed of the devices. X3 Pro have 33 watts of fast charging, whereas V20 also have 33 watts of fast charging. So the winner here is V20 because it can charge up the device faster because of lower battery capacity it have. Let's talk about the loudspeaker of the devices. X3 Pro comes with stereo speakers, whereas V20 have normal speakers. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it can produces immersive sound. And about the headphone jack of the devices, X3 Pro have 3.5 mm of headphone jack, whereas V20 also have, so it's a tie. Moving to the communication chips in the devices, starting with the WLAN of the devices. Both of the devices comes with Wi-Fi AC, dual band Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi direct and hotspot. So I will call it a tie. And about the Bluetooth version of the devices, X3 Pro have 5th generation of Bluetooth, whereas V20 have 5.1 generation of Bluetooth. So the winner here is V20 because it have newer generation of Bluetooth. Let's talk about the positioning chips in the devices. X3 Pro have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo and BDS, whereas V20 have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo and BDS. So clearly it's a tie here. And about the USB connectivity of the devices, X3 Pro comes with 2nd gen of Type-C connector with OTG support, whereas V20 also have 2nd gen of Type-C connector with OTG support. So I will call it a tie. Moving to the price of the devices. In the international market, starting price of X3 Pro is around $220, whereas V20 is available from $400. In the Indian market, X3 Pro have starting range from 17,500 rupees, whereas V20 is available from 22,000 rupees. So the conclusion of the video is, in the camera the winner is X3 Pro, in the performance the winner is X3 Pro, in the display the winner is V20, in the body segment the winner is V20, in the features of the devices the winner is X3 Pro, in the communication chip it's a tie, and about the prices the winner is X3 Pro. So the decision is totally yours, which device you like the most so far, and let me know in the comment below what do you think, which device is better for you. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like our content, please like our video, share this video and subscribe to our channel. Comment what's your thought in the comment below. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please like our page TechDad, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, here's my Instagram ID on the screen. This is Amit and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.